Hi guys, we are on week 5, Thursday. You notice I'm back to my fancy Dasani sparkling water can and cell phone to record, and that's because the document camera is still giving me a little bit of trouble getting the videos recorded and uploaded. So we're going to start right here. Number 1, a box of cereal contains 5 3/5 ounces of cereal. If a bowl holds 2 2/5 ounces of cereal, how many bowls of cereal are in one box? Now, I know I'm taking a box of cereal and I'm splitting it up into segments of 2 2/5 ounces. Okay, and I'm going to see how many bowls will fit in. If I'm doing 2 2/5 ounce, how many are in this box? So I'm basically splitting something up and dividing. So I need to take 15 3/5, and I'm going to divide that by 2 2/5. Again, mixed numbers are great for understanding of quantity. However, they're not great to work with in math, so I need to do reverse C on both of these terms to make sure that I get them in improper fraction format. 5 times 15 is 75, plus 3 is 78. And then I'm going to place that over the denominator of 5, divided by 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12 over 5. Okay, now I have my division problem set up. Before I can move on, I need to change it from division to multiplication. I use keep, change, flip to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and slide over this way a little bit. Keep my first fraction, change my sign, flip my second fraction. Now, I can go ahead and multiply across and then simplify, but I've noticed I have some cross cancellation opportunities here. I'm going to go ahead and again take advantage of that. So I know 5 and 5 have a common factor of 5. So I'm just going to reduce these both to 1. Okay, the next thing I notice is 78 and 12. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to reduce them both in half. Okay, and so that's going to be 6. And then half of 78 is 39. Now what I notice is 39 and 6 still have common factor of 3. So I'm going to continue to cross cancel until I can get them to as small as possible, so I don't have to continue to do that after the problem. So 3 goes into both 39 and 6. 3 goes into 6 twice. 3 goes into 39 13 times. Now I can just multiply across and I get 13 over 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this down. This is going to be 7.5 bowls, or you can write 7.5 if you wanted, or you can write 7 full bowls. Now this does not ask me how many full bowls of cereal are in one box, so I'm just going to leave it in this format, but sometimes it will ask you if you can have half a bowl of cereal. So in this case, we're going to leave it in that way. If it asks you for something that can't be split up, then you have to always round down. Jerry has 2 posters. One is 4.5 feet wide, and the other is 5 1/8 foot wide. Will the 2 posters fit beside each other on the wall that's 10 feet wide? Explain. Okay, now explain. Again, if I just see math here, you're going to make me sad. I need to see you solve the math if you'd like, but I need you to put this into words. Okay, so all I'm going to do really is take 5 1/8, and I'm going to add that to 4 1/4. And if that number is less than or equal to 10, we will be able to fit those 2 posters on that wall. Now, I could do this a couple different ways. I could convert these both into improper fractions and add across and then put them back. But I know I can actually just add my 2 wholes together and then add my 2 fractions together, and that's going to give me a total as well. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make this guy right here. I'm going to make this guy match this guy because this has a common, it does not have a common denominator, but 8 and 4 have a common multiple of 8. So I'm going to change this to 5 1/8 plus 4. And let's change this bottom number to an 8. Now, how many times do I have to multiply 4 to get it to 8? Twice. When I do this, I'm going to get a total of 9 3/8. Is 9 3/8 less than 10 or equal to? Because equal to would also allow both posters to fit there. And the answer is yes. Because both are less than 10 feet, they'll both fit in on the wall. Okay, next problem. Ooh, yay, decimals, everybody's favorite. So this is where we're having to combine a couple different things, order of operations along with our decimals. Now, if you wanted to use distributive property and then subtract of course that would work. It's going to provide you the same answer. However, it just doesn't make sense to me to do it that way. I feel like you're creating a lot more math. So I'm going to start right here on the inside. I'm going to start with the parentheses. And I'm going to subtract 3.7 and I'm going to subtract 4.62. When I look at these two, I have one positive, one negative. So I need to find the difference in these two, covering it up, the difference in these two numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and move over here, 4.62, subtract 3.7. And I need to remember to borrow correctly. And that's going to leave me a value of 9. Okay, that's going to leave me a value of 92 cents. I'm going to look back over here, and that is a negative 9.92. I now need to take my 4.81, and I'm going to multiply that by a negative 0.92. And I'll put a 0 there just to help us with that. Okay, and when I multiply that out, I should see on your paper, and this is how I'm going to know if you're actually listening to the videos or you're just clicking through and copying down what I'm copying. In this case, I'm not going to show all the work for this. And the reason is that I'm trying to keep this video shorter so that it's easier to upload. Your answer is going to be negative 4.4252. Okay, now, again, I expect when I look at your homework, this is going to be a real good way for me to check to see if you are actually doing the math or if you're just copying down what I'm writing, because listening to the video is important. This last problem, order of operations, this always throws people off because it's like they forget about doing order of operations if they see other things going on like variables or integers in the problem. So right here, I'm going to start with the multiplication right here, 8 times 1/2. Because multiplication comes before addition. Okay, and again, multiplication, division, I do left to right. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy my first number down, 40. And then 8 times 1/2 is going to be 4. But just to show that math over here, 8 times 1/2, place 8 over 1 will be 8 over 2 or 4. So 40 plus 4 divided by 2. My next step is to divide, because I still can't touch either of these, the negative 40 or this adding 4 to it, until I get rid of this division. 4 divided by 2, positive 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. So I have negative 40 plus 2, and that's going to equal a negative 38.